business, request for decision, Shallow Gas Property Tax Relief Initiative.
Is Sharon's going to comment? I'm sorry.
Before you, you have a request for decision for Shallow Gas Tax Relief Initiative, where the province has brought forward to give the oil companies immediate relief in their taxes. Our recommendation is that for all properties identified in the appendix, summary of the tax relief by companies attached to and forming part of the council minutes. Council authorizes the cancellation and or refund of the 2019 taxes paid or owing so as to reduce by 35% property taxes levied as per section 353(2) of the Municipal Government Act, which includes municipal property taxes, requisitions detailed in section 326(1)(a) and 359(1)(2), as well as special tax levied under section 382(1), where the tax rate is based on the assessment. Also, if there's any cancellation or refund of tax penalties associated with the 2019 properties levied as per section 3532 of the Municipal Government Act in the amount of $766,454.32. With this program that the government has proposed, is they're also going to be crediting the municipality through the education school requisition of the $766,454.52. We've already received half of it in our last invoice for the school requisition. I guess it's open if you have any questions.
Mr. Chairman, so are any of these, through to administration, are any of these in a tax arrears already?
Yes.
Yes, there is.
How many do we have? Can we get a list of who's in a tax arrears?
There's probably 3 or 4 of them that are already, I didn't bring my spreadsheet, but we do have some that are in tax arrears.
Has there been any
effective to the 2019 tax levy? It doesn't affect the arrears at all.
Right, no, for sure. But I mean, we do have, I mean.
If I can, Mr. Chairman, one of the benefits, I guess if you want to call it that, or a little relaxation for the county of Stettler, is that quite a few of the companies receiving this is Trident. So Trident won't be paying us any money on the taxes because we know they're in receivership, but we will get 35% of a portion of these wells back to the county.
For this 1 year.
For this 1 year. So it's offsetting the hit a little bit that we were taking in 2019 on the Trident taxes.
Also too, at the RMA meeting that we had, that in Three Hills, that Nate Moreland had come to, that question was asked directly to municipal affairs, and was indicated back to us at that point that we hadn't included all in. Was that not your interpretation also for that?
Well, except this was an initiative for 2019, basically an election promise to immediately deal with the issue for 2019. Anything in arrears, the government's not willing to look at it, right? We keep trying to collect as we can. We entered the tax agreement. Maybe with this shot in the arm for saying this 35%, maybe they can help pay some of their taxes and arrears, but this just wasn't included in their calculation.
Also, Mr. Chairman, they have also mentioned in their initiative details that if the full amount of the school requisition has not been paid out in full through this program, we still can claim a portion of it through the PERC program and the other programs that they have put forward to us. I can give you the examples that they've shown us. You can pass it around of the 2 different examples. If in some cases they've actually overpaid the, school education. And other ones they haven't. The ones that they haven't, you still have some room that you can still claim some of the balance on the school rec through the other programs such as PERC. And that these are acronyms, okay, and they're programs.
So that's kind of what I'm getting at is, okay, so typically if I was just a landowner and I came in and I dropped off a check or had somebody credit back a check to the county, it would be first in, first out, right? So typically I would get that money paid down to the first part of my arrears.
Right, and that's the way property taxes generally work, but not so with this initiative.
And my issue is typically how long is it before we go after them legally on this stuff?
Most of them, a lot of
2
them
years?
have.
2 years already?
We see the ones that are struggling, the ones that are still viable or operating, and we basically get Brownlee to contact them, we try to get into tax agreements with them. But this initiative is just totally initiated, for lack of a better word, by the provincial government, and they want us to comply.
But it doesn't, I mean, so we won't be able to claim the perk, because I mean, Trident, for example, is going to be in 2019 tax year into us for $210,000.
Yeah, but we'll be able to claim.
How much of the perk?
When we write it off.
Yeah, when we write it, if we choose to write that off, we can claim what is left. Because this program is applying it to the full amount of taxes. So if there's anything left in the school, we could still claim that back.
So this amount is on total tax. It has nothing to do with education portion. It's not like we're knocking 30% of their education portion off.
Well, it's
back, right?
Okay, so that has nothing to do with this.
And it's 35% of everything, 35% of the municipal, the seniors, the education, the town recreation.
And the perk is only on the education portion. Is there any way that we can not apply this to the education portion?
No.
I mean, right, if we could, that would be the way to do it, that it's only municipal taxes that we're cutting down. Their education portion, they still owe us.
If you look at the example that I've placed there, there's 2 pages. And you'll show the education and what we've, as an example, what you would receive back through this program. If there's anything left owing, you can still claim that back through PERC, is my understanding of it. But they'll be going over the process of what we need to do in that category on October 2nd. We have a webinar that we'll be sitting in on.
Also with that too is another spot on that is Trident would even be at the spot where not all their properties would fall under what is defined as shallow gas for that reassessment.
And a lot of the companies only have a portion of their assessment that's linear, that is shallow gas, right? So they're still going to have there's lots of the companies on there that there's 2 of them already that have paid, and there's some other ones that are viable, which I feel will probably pay. So you're not going to be claiming anything back.
So on property 2, I'm a little bit confused. They say receives $525 in tax relief through the SGTI or RI. If the property meets the parameters of PERC, it would be eligible for education portion, but it only leaves, it's negative $25, so there is no PERC claim. That's my concern.
That's correct, but they've also overpaid what the education would be. So it's over and above what the education would be, right?
And that's what I'm saying. So in a certain way, we're losing out that PERC eligibility for 2019, correct?
No,
Well, that's what it says here.
but they've already overpaid what the PERC would be, or what the education would be, so there's no room.
By that credit is 35% of the total. They've already overpaid it. If we split it in between, they would take a portion of the municipal tax, a portion of the education tax.
The whole amount, James, you have to look at the whole amount. For what this program does, it's the whole amount of taxes.
I get that.
They credit you for the full amount of taxes.
But they're not proportionalizing it. That's my problem. You see, and if it was 30% of the municipal tax, and 30% of the education tax, there still would be a remainder of, in 30% of, it'd be only, $150 would come off the 500, which would allow us still to go after the perk. And that's where I'm saying there's a discrepancy.
Yeah, and
But-
I think you're looking more at viable companies than you are.
Absolutely, I mean, we can't get blood
And
from
they're
the
gonna pay anyway, right?
But the other
Well,
thing
they're
too,
on the teeter edge. If they drop off, we're SOL, as it were. I don't see the program being as well thought out as maybe it could be, because we're getting shortchanged on our ability to claim the perk back.
but in most cases, you wouldn't get your municipal or your other requisitions paid back at all, right? So there is I guess the compensation in the two.
The sad part of that is with the reassessment, we're probably gonna be looking at the same conversation next year without the offer of any 35% back.
And because the perk program is expired at the end of this year, so we don't even know if they're gonna let it continue.
The only thing that we do have, Mr. Chairman, in that point is that we would be able to change the tax, the actual tax rate, the mill rate that we have for that oil and gas. I mean, if the asset drops by $2 million and we're gonna lose $200,000, maybe we change the mill rate and change that up. I mean, unfortunately, that is, I guess, it's an option. I don't know if we're gonna use it or not, but that is out there. I don't know if this is gonna work as well as the provincial government thinks it's gonna work.
But it does, we do fall into that rule of how much.
There has to be a certain percentage that we have to be within, right? We still have to consider that.
From our residential to our, yeah. I mean, we've raised our residential, we've raised our farmland. We did not raise our oil and gas this last year, so our spread has gotten smaller this year, so it does give us some wiggle room for next year.
I think the other thing too is, I think they thought it out? No, I think that they rushed at it, right? And they put this program together to answer an election promise. But, going forward, we now have the ability to split the linear, the commercial mill rate, but the problem is we've been checking out and researching it with other municipalities that have done it. It's not working out very well. So we're kind of waiting to see how it would be perfected. And then the other thing is, I don't think they'd let us split the mill rate for a different rate on shallow gas and a different rate on conventional gas, and then say.
No, it has to be the same.
So no matter what however we try to nail them, if you.
Poor choice of words, how we say them.
However we try to recover our funds.
Yeah.
Recover our losses.
Yeah.
Recover our tax dollars.
Then the guys that have been limping along, because, you know, it is kind of funny that they give the incentive to shallow gas, but conventional gas has got the same problem with revenue, and so does, well, oil's a little bit better, but the same, right? And yet, they just singled out shallow gas to give the incentive to.
Fair enough.
Campaign promise.
And the sales meter for gas doesn't, once it's going through meter, doesn't say whether it's shallow or whether it's intermediate gas either. So it was, the questions were asked though at that meeting about especially about companies that had outstanding taxes in arrears.
I mean, it would have been good if we got maybe a fuller report, then I wouldn't have to ask these questions, but that's fair enough.
I apologize for this, but we pushed the issue at the last meeting we had in the 15 most affected municipalities, that instead of leaving the payback or the recovery of our funds to December, if they could please split it in two, because our cash flow has been hurting so poorly, especially with the lack of a provincial budget. So again, we pushed it, County of Stettler pushed the initiative to have it split between September and December. So now, of course, the government is looking to back up what they've done.
So this is just going to open up the door for these cheaper gas bills who do the same thing.
and gas producers, but basically conventional gas and suppliers, you know, the offset companies from the actual oil company are feeling the pinch just as much, so are they gonna come back and forgive taxes for them, things like that, so. There's a lot of concern out there, but this is the initiative that the provincial government's put on the table, and they have not made it mandatory, but they've made it very clear that their expectations are that we comply.
So is that it for your presentation? Okay, so we got recommendations on the table. And, any motion or? Councilor Bennett?
Maybe we'll make the motion that, we abide by the implementation, provincial government.
Which would be under the recommendations on the first page here.
Just to be clear, Mr. Chairman, what are you making the motion for, Mr. Gender?
Cancellation or the refund of, 2019 property taxes.
All or part, or what are we making a motion for?
I guess is as per what the provincial government is implementing. We don't have any real choice on it.
Yeah.
So it's not really a recommendation, because we weren't implementing it.
You have three options, and you have a percentage to work with, so.
That's all one option, James. That's all part of the one motion.
But we're not canceling or reducing tax arrears. Because we can't. And the motion has to be that we,
Say tax arrears, it's all to do with the 219 taxes. It says refund tax,
it says here.
219 taxes penalties, which we have not incurred, but if they don't pay, there might be an avenue that we can further collect.
This is the motion that came from the province that they want us to pass. Most counties collect their taxes earlier than we do. I think it's only a couple of them are September and October. So our companies haven't paid because they're waiting to see if we pass this. A company in Lacombe or a company in Starland has already paid, and they're not allowed to, if they haven't paid and they put through this initiative, we can't penalize it. So, if we were one of those counties that say taxes were due the end of June, we penalize these people for not paying, we would have to get those penalties back.
So, are you clear on the motion, Marlene?
I don't see a motion written in here, that's where I'm at. Confused.
No, under recommendations on the first page. Cancellation or
There isn't any choice.
There's two dots, is there not?
That's part of the motion, that's how it's written.
That's not an or, that's a vote.
That's both.
And that's all part of that 35% credit coming back for school, to make up for that.
Yeah, the government just wanted to make sure they touched on all of the issues or the points.
Councilor Stewart?
Just for clarification to administration, the cancellation of penalties is just associated with the 35%? Not.
Yes, and it would only be the current penalty, as far as I know, which would be the 10% that we would levy on November 1st, which is applied only to current tax.
So
Councilor Stewart?
that's what you told us, right, Sharon? It's just in this year's taxes.
It's the 219 current taxes that this applies to.
Are not included in this,
No, they're not included.
just this year.
Councilor?
So if I read this right, is there a chance, it says cancellation or refund of tax penalties associated with 2019 property taxes levied as per section 353(2) of the Municipal Government Act. If I'm the lawyer for the oil companies and I see this, you've given me the 35% off, I am not paying any arrears or penalties in 2019. I'm gonna go tell you to go pound sand because your council has told me that they want to cancel all the penalties. I think it has to say cancellation refund.
Associated?
Oh, it has to read cancellation and refund associated with 35% reduction of the provincial government's refund.
Yeah, we can stick that in. This is the motion that came from the government. This is the one they want passed, but I mean, we can put that in there because I see what you're saying. Okay, let's pick on Bear Spa. Bear Spa pays us, we refund them 35%, or they say Bear Spa hasn't paid us, we refund them 35%. We can still penalize them for the 65% that they haven't paid, but we can't penalize them on the 35 shell of gas.
Right, and that's where I'm saying, if we pass this the way that it sets,
Yeah.
I would go to my lawyer and say, I'm not paying any penalties because council has made a motion that I don't have to pay.
Yeah, no, we can stick that in there associated with the 35% shell gas property tax reduction.
We have the staff recommendation on the screen, adding in, highlighted, Councillor Nyberg's suggested amendment.
Mr. Gender, you take that as a friendly amendment?
Yes.
Any other discussion?
All in favor? Opposed? Councillor Nyberg is opposed.
Mr. Chairman, I don't think we should ever send this unanimously because I know there's a number of people that are definitely not opposed or in favor of this. Our farmering community has definitely sent a message to me that we should not be passing that unanimously.
That is with provincial government though also.
Absolutely. I represent
Absolutely.
Johnny Stettler.
Okay. Thank you. That's over, and if I could ask motion for
Adjournment?
adjournment, all in favor?